of Pizza Marketplace and QSR Web, and you're watching the Restaurant Operator Podcast, a Networld Media Group production. I'm here today with Beth Stockmoe, Vice President of Operations for fast casual brand Mooyah. Beth, thanks so much for being with us today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, let's get started. Let's talk about Mooyah. Tell me the brand's origin story. I believe you guys launched in 2007 in Plano, Texas. Is that right?
We did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we launched in 2007, and we are mostly a franchise organization. So we've got 75 locations, 73 of them are franchised, and we just started building out our corporate market this year. So it's really about the better burger business. So we bake our buns in-house. We hand punch our fries. We prep all of our ingredients daily. We use certified Angus beef, so our burgers are as good as steak. But that's really always been who we are. We are really serious about food, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And, that's kind of our niche in the market. You go into our restaurants, you have great food and a great time.
So what do you guys offer? What kind of support system do you offer your franchisees being so franchised heavy?
Well, we've got a team of operators and trainers that are in our restaurants on a quarterly basis at minimum, working alongside the teams, working alongside the franchisees. Everything that we develop for Mooyah, for our franchisees, we test ourselves. So we, if it's new equipment, if it's a new process, if it's new food, we take that to our corporate location. We test it ourselves, make sure it's the right thing. Test it with some of our franchise community, and before we bring it out to the field. So.
Okay. And how are you ensuring consistent quality and service across the franchise locations? If I'm going to one in one town and one in another town, how do I make sure that burger is going to taste the same?
We use the same suppliers for all of our food across the country, and then we've got training systems in place, and we do something called a business review. So our franchise operations managers are out in the field in every restaurant every single quarter, really looking at their processes, the products that they're purchasing, how they're doing things. But I think we've got a really good structure as far as what our standard operating procedures are.
Okay.
And then we validate those, and if people aren't following them, we teach them the right way.
So what are you guys looking for in a franchisee? What does a typical Mooyah franchisee look like?
A typical franchisee is somebody that has, a good business sense, can understand how to make a return on investment, but, somebody who is connected in the restaurant industry, that can operate a restaurant, or has a good infrastructure to be able to go out there and build multiple units. And somebody that's willing to learn and give feedback along the way as well.
Okay. Let's talk about the food. I know you're making a lot in-house. Why do so much in-house when you can buy it? I know it tastes better, but beyond that, why are you guys making so much in-house, and how are you keeping your labor costs down?
It's both. It does taste better for sure. There's a big difference in a bun that we have baked in-house versus one that we're going to pick up from the store. So it's essentially about quality. We know that our burgers taste the best because of the ingredients that we use and because of the care that we put in. Hand-punched fries are always going to be better than, a frozen product, but it's also a way to reduce food cost. So, baking buns in-house doesn't necessarily require an inordinate amount of extra labor, but we're saving a substantial amount versus purchasing something that's pre-baked. Same thing with hand-cut fries. We're saving a substantial amount on the product by producing it in-house, and it does require labor, but it's labor that it's labor that we're already using throughout the day when we have team members in the restaurant. So, it's our priority is quality. It's always going to taste better. But on top of that, we're realizing the savings in our cost of goods as well.
Do you think your customers appreciate that how much is done in-house?
Absolutely. My son is a huge Mooyah fan, and I've made burgers at home before, and he's like, "These are good, but they're not Mooyah good." And I'm using the same beef, but there's absolutely a difference in the quality of the ingredients when you're making everything from scratch. And I think our guests absolutely notice that.
Great. I think that when you do a lot in house, that definitely feeds over into the customer. I think they see it, they can feel it, they can taste it, and they appreciate it, I think for sure.
And our team members get excited about it too. When they're talking about our fries at the register, they're talking about hand cut fries. I mean, they're excited to say it. And when they're talking to their friends about where they work, they can talk about what it is that they do and the work that they're putting into this food to make a stellar burger.
Right. So what is going to be your key brand differentiators and competitive advantages? What's going to set, because the burger industry, you're not only competing with fast food, you're competing with other fast casuals. So what's going to set Mooyah apart from those other brands?
Oh, we make everything fresh as it's ordered. We don't hold our burgers. We don't hold our fries. We don't hold anything. So it's made to order once they come in. And I think you can really taste that difference. On top of that, when we focus on our core five, and it's quality, it's service, it's our ticket times, it's the environment, and it's the accuracy. So when you come into a Mooyah, you're going to get your food right. You're going to get it. You're going to get it fast. You're going to get it friendly, and it's going to be the best ingredients, and you're going to enjoy the environment that's around you as well. So those are the core five that we focus on that I think really put us above the competition.
When Mooyah was founded, why fast casual? Why not go the fast food route, which is going to be at a lower price point? Why go to that higher price point?
I think it kind of goes back to quality as well. You can produce food quickly, but you can't always produce phenomenal food quickly. And, Mooyah has always been about, having the best burger out there. We want to be the best burger in America. And in order to do that, we've got to set a really high standard for the food that we produce. And it's better to do, we can do that in a fast casual environment more easily than we can do that in a fast food environment.
Sure. And your milkshakes. We can't forget your milkshakes.
Our milkshakes. Those things are to die for. They're made with, 10% butterfat ice cream, which is rich and delicious.
What about technology? What are you leveraging to improve your operational efficiencies?
Well, we just rolled out drive-through in 2024, and we really had to take a look at our technology to be able to be competitive in that segment. Our burger, our beef, it takes 3.5 minutes to cook a patty, from start to finish. It takes 4 minutes to cook our fries from start to finish, which is just not fast enough for drive-through. It puts us at a 6-minute ticket time when it's all said and done. So we've taken a look at the clamshell grills. We've got that installed in our first drive-through, which takes that cook time from 3.5 minutes down to a minute. We've changed up processes on our fries, so we've been able to get those down to 2 minutes. We, use a griddle for toasting our buns. It takes 2 minutes per bun. We put new toasters in these locations that gets the buns out in 40 seconds. But on top of that, we've been working with a new KDS system that is touchscreen. It shows the pictures of the ingredients and whatnot to really help us improve on accuracy and to be able to, track timing. So we've had to really take a look at the technology in the back of the house to be able to produce a burger that's the same quality, not hold it, and be able to get it out to the guest in under 3 minutes. And we've been able to do that. For inside of the restaurant, we've got digital menu boards, and then we've got our kiosk stations. Kiosks are relatively new to Mooyah as well, but it really it helps with the guests that are waiting in line. They don't have to wait anymore. They go through a kiosk. And we still have, registers where they can go and they can order through a person too, which helps with the hospitality, but it really helps with the throughput overall. The digital menu boards, we can change the menus easily without having to have them reprinted and whatnot. So when we're adding different LTO items, it helps with cost and it looks good as well. So.
Do you worry about losing that personal touch with kiosks?
No, I mean, we've got a separate kiosk counter, and then we've got our regular counter. So a guest can absolutely go and talk to a cashier to be able to order through a cashier as well. And then we also have, managers that are visiting in tables in the dining room and making sure everything is top notch.
Good. What's going to be your biggest challenges over the last couple of years?
Yeah, really, it's kind of the operator's continuous challenge. We're always fighting for prime cost, right? We've got to get cost of goods. We've got to continue to focus on getting those lower, and then we've got to continue to work on different ways to, guide labor. Especially in restaurants in California and different areas of the country where wages are higher, labor is higher, and to be able to maintain different profit levels, we've got to have better efficiencies. So, I would say, prime cost is always the challenge. The other piece is operation simplification. As we grow, we're building 15 restaurants this year. We've got more in the pipeline for next year. We've got to make it so easy that anybody can do it. We've worked with our partners on our bread, right? They've changed the conditioner to where, it's easier to proof and easier to bake, and there's less room for error. We're currently working on fries, and how do we get a product that's consistently good as we expand, while we keep the quality intact. So we're looking at different varieties of potatoes, and how do we take some of the steps out to get the same quality product, but make it so easy that anybody can do it as we grow.
And it's got to taste the same.
The same.
Yep. So what is going to be your growth strategy? You just said you're opening 15 this year. That's a good amount.
It is. We just opened up our second one of the year yesterday. So really, we've got the team to do it. We've got the trainers that are out there, training the new team members and the managers, and we've got our operations department that are out there making sure that the restaurants are executing appropriately. But really, it's just busy.
So you've already opened 2, and
we opened 2 this year.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah,
it's exciting.
So how do you evaluate and select new franchise markets? What are you looking for in a franchise market?
We're looking for the right locations, and we're looking for markets that already have some locations in there, right? So our ideal places to open right now, are Texas, obviously, California, Florida, that already have name recognition. And then we're looking for sites that are available in those areas. But we're not ruling anything out. We've got a restaurant we're opening up. It'll be our first one in Michigan that will open up in April.
So what's going to be your long-term goals for the brand? You're opening 15 next year. What do we see in the future?
We're going to keep growing. We want to get, love to see us over 200 units and beyond.
Okay. And I guess my last question, and this is kind of a Miss America question, but if you had a piece of advice to give to a new Mooyah franchisee, what would you tell them?
Restaurants are challenging. And if you like a challenge, this is the industry for you, because, operators are always going to find a way. There's nothing that we can't overcome. And there's always a solution. So, it's, keep going, trust in your team, build your team, make sure that you've got people around you that you can trust and that are going to support you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me.
That'll do it for this episode, and we'll catch you next time.